Welcome to the Roger Report live on the entertainment side. I am here with a review of the movie Sarah's Oil. Sarah's Oil, very interesting movie. Something I believe everyone would be interested in seeing. There is some definitely good messages in the movie. Now, don't you trip. Don't you trip. It's still Hollywood, y'all. It's still Hollywood. The white savior was definitely presented early, and I'm gonna say with a different kind of take, because the white savior was the white savior, but still not quite the white savior, and we kind of had to get a new white savior. Look, very interesting turn of events. Now, this movie is based on a true story, and according to what I normally see, movies that are based on a true story are better movies. So I definitely would recommend people go see this. But I mean, it is gonna have some Hollywood. You know, they got to Hollywood stuff up a little bit. They got Hollywood stuff up just a little bit. Now, over here at the Roger Report Live, we are using a new rating system when it comes to movies. The worst one is just trash. Don't even worry about this one. That is the official. It's trash. Don't even worry about this one. There's mid. Well, it was all right. Okay, it was all right. Okay, now you have good, and you really don't know what that means. That's all I'm gonna say. If I tell you it was good, you really don't know what that means. Come on now. And then there's top notch, which means the movie was excellent. Now I'm gonna say this particular film, I'm gonna say was very close to top notch. It was close to top notch, but there was just a couple things in it that it just couldn't get over up to top notch for me. Uh, probably probably a little too much of the white savior part, but it was a very good way that they told the story, an interesting story. So very close to top notch, but I'm gonna rank this one as good, y'all. Very close. Just it had a little bit of a hump to get over. Now I will say this. This was the story of a Sarah Rector. She's from the early 1900s, and her family did have to deal with slavery. Now, some land was given out to some of the former slaves. Sarah happened to be one of them. And Sarah believed it deep in her heart. And it just so happened, okay, well, she believed it deep, 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 deep in her heart. And when she got this patch of land, that was a good patch of land. I think it was about 160 acres. Good patch of land. And she just believed somehow that this land that she has now been given would have some oil on it. And the story was very interesting because, you could see things were a little undeveloped in those terms, in those towns. Sarah went and signed for her own patch of land. She didn't need her parents to sign. No, no, no. She signed. So you can see that this is before, adults had to sign for a person, guardian. There was an issue about a guardian, who should be a guardian, and how do you make somebody guardian. This comes up through the movie, but at the very beginning of the film, she signs to receive her own patch of land. So this is a girl. Okay, now, you know I'm not going to even say it don't make sense, looking at how slavery was, how things may have been dispatched out. If somebody was going to find something on this land, because of course whoever had the land beforehand, I'm sure they wouldn't have just quite gave it away like that if they knew there's going to be something on that land. So it was presented as barren land, but it was not given to a man. Now, Sarah's dad was right there. Sarah's dad took her to the bank so she could sign for her property. Yes, y'all. Sarah's dad was right there. So it does show that even way back when, they were doing everything they can to basically just bypass the black man. And it only makes sense when you know a little bit about history. If they're going to give out some land and however, this, they didn't quite tell the story of how it quite folded over to her, but it was hers. It wasn't her father's. It wasn't her mother's. Now, she was being raised with her father, mother, and a brother, but the land went to her specifically. Okay. And this land turned into quite an issue because good chunk of land. Sarah had a teacher, according to what she was saying throughout the movie, that gave her a little bit of information. She obviously was going to school. She knew a little bit. She knew a little bit about the oil game, what numbers she should be looking for. And Sarah was out here ready to cut deals. Okay. Sarah was out here ready to cut deals. And she found some folks to cut a deal with. Some, as they call them, wildcatters, y'all. Some wildcatters. Okay. Bert Smith, the main wildcatter, and his buddy Mace. And Sarah struck up a deal. You know, Sarah said, you know what? I tried to deal with these other folks. These other folks, they trying to play me. I tried to make a deal. I believe it's oil on my land. I think they took a look at some stuff and they believe it's oil on the land too, but they left. Not only did they leave, they left their equipment, said it would be too much trouble to even pick the equipment up. So, of course, now, you know, that's white folks trying to trick black folks. You know, you're going to raise the eyebrow up at least a little bit. You're going to raise that eyebrow up a little bit. And it is what it is. Well, them folks did not leave that rig for no reason. They absolutely meant to come back. And now there's all types of legal battles and situations going on where this little girl is now taking on an oil company. Now, this is early 1900s, but it turns into a girl taking on an oil company. Now, she had a couple partners that had her back, but she really had her family that had her back. And y'all, got a little tense in there. It got a little tense in there. And then there's a situation about who can do what and who can do this and who is a true guardian of this Sarah woman. And y'all, it got all the way into gunplay. So this was a very interesting way to tell a story that is a piece of American history. Sarah is one of the first millionaires in American history. And I got to tell you, y'all, the movie was still good. Hollywood did their thing and they put some stuff in it that stopped me from getting it to a top-notch rating, but it still was a good movie, and I think everyone would enjoy it and can learn something from it too. So that is my take on this particular film. I'm gonna say go see it right away. You ain't gonna pick wrong. And that's what I see in this one. And I will see y'all next time around. I'm Roger. I'm Bright. And I'm out.